What's up guys? So I'm really excited to be doing this video today because it's been super asked for in all the comments and over a really long time now. I've been wanting to do this video like even back when I actually did the Moon Princess Returns one. I didn't think it was going to drag out this far, and it's literally the day before the next set drops, and this is the only time I've had to do it. I've been extremely busy with work and everything, so I'm really glad you guys were able to wait for it. I hope it's everything you guys imagine with my amazing aesthetics and of course animation that I do, you know, with all the like bumping around in the sky and stuff. So I'm really happy to do it. It's going to be kind of quirky. This video isn't going to be as long as the other stories actually, because the MOA video, for some reason, I mean the MOA story isn't as long. It's kind of really to the point and short, so there isn't going to be a cool battle like the Feetsing versus Zero, but there's going to be a small one like that, I guess you could say. And we're of course going to start off with Alice and Kaguya. So Alice hears everything going on with Blazer in her dimension, so she has to return and can't help Kaguya with the Cthulhu problem. So she has no choice but to return to her dimension, so she pursues Blazer, thus the whole Alice's pursuit. Kaguya, if we remember, she's only immortal because a millennia ago she used her youth as a catalyst to hold together all the True Stone's power and seal away all the Cthulhus originally. But if you remember in Moon Princess Returns, they're all released again because of what happened at Raffrath with Little Red. They're all on the loose again, and Kaguya has to seal them away, only she can't anymore because the seal itself was broken. And so the only choice she has is to then reverse the spell she did to then, instead of sealing them away, kind of just changed the way they're created and how they are. And she would have to give up kind of her life in a sense, and I'll get to what happens with that later. But so, Familiar of the Holy Wind and Feetsing finally find Kaguya, and Kaguya asks for Feetsing's help, and of course Feetsing's totally willing to help. And they also find Pandora, who of course we last saw has Lumia and Grimm's hope with her, so of course that's how like Grimmia is born. And so they all join forces. They know that they have to find the True Stones, and when they do, note that if you guys remember, Little Red is now one of the True Stones because she released Feetsing and took the place. So Little Red, the True Fairy Tale, is one of the new True Stones. We have Milas, Mujart, Uspalesta, and Almirs. So they plan to use the power of the True Stones. We'll leave it right over here. And so Kaguya wants to use the power of the True Stones, the power of Feetsing, and use Pandora to help out, to then kind of use this reversal spell known as the Ritual of Millenia. So what she plans to do is, instead of giving up her youth like she originally did and using the power of the True Stones to seal them away, she wants to kind of reverse the way everything kind of worked. And as you know, this card kind of brings something back from the graveyard if it's destroyed that turn, because it's kind of like reversing damage that had been done, or, you know, kind of just setting you back to where things were beforehand. So I think it's really cool that the card text actually kind of matches the actual effect. So what happens is they have the power of the True Stones. I'm going to put Feetsing over here because she's helping out too. We'll have Familiar actually over here because Familiar is going to play a small role. This is totally made up, by the way. Sometimes I like kind of imagining all these little things happening. But so when the army of the Cthulhu comes, so we have Naya, there's Yogg, there's the Byakhee, Hastur, the Fraternity Queen, Hound of Tindlish, Shattank, King in Yellow, and Black Gold. We have this whole army amassing. We'll move Naya down over from there to up here. So we have the whole army of Cthulhu approaching, and Pandora of course uses the power of Grimm and Lumia to make Grimmia, and equips him, well, herself, with the sword. So we're gonna have this awesome battle between Grimmia and all the Cthulhus. So she's gonna just be like slashing all of them and fighting them, and that's, you know, my awesome animation skills. I hope you guys like it. And they're all, you know, kind of battling it out. And then just to make things easier to see, because I know the space isn't too big, I'm going to just put it like this. So they're fighting things out, trying to buy Kaguya time. Familiar is going to be over here, you know, banishing itself to do 300 damage the best it can. It could take out, like, let's say, Black Goat. So we'll have Black Goat fight Familiar. So this will be over there. Sorry, guys, I get really quirky with this kind of stuff, but I like it. So, and then in this time, Kaguya is going to be casting her spell. She's going to then finally get it off and use the Ritual of Millenia. With this, the whole world's going to be kind of bathed in light, so then everything will disappear. And we're going to be left with the moon itself, the pale moon that we've always had that turned red, is going to turn into the regular moon, so now it's the transparent moon. So that was the birth of this. The flavor text on this says, "The moon has fulfilled its duty, now silently accompanies the end of the story," which I think is really kind of a nice touch, because this really is the end of kind of like the first chapter of, you know, the Grimm cluster, and we're moving into the Alice cluster. So it's really cool to see a random card like this that we don't really see a lot of play in have a nice kind of like ending touch to it. So we're going to leave the moon up over here. So what ends up happening is Kaguya kind of reversed her youth, but it kind of makes her disappear. Everything kind of just goes back to the way it was. We have some of the Cthulhu, which is actually kind of, it's not really confirmed, but Lunia. She's called Lunia the Liar Girl, and what happens with the ritual is all the Cthulhu either completely vanish or they get turned into humans. And the flavor text on this doesn't specify, because it just says, as a result of Kaguya's technique, some Cthulhus are recalled and reincarnated as humans. But because Lunia is the liar girl, it's kind of very likely that this could actually be Naya herself, because we know that Naya was, of course, Little Red, the wolf girl, and she lied about that. The Fiend Pyre is who she is even before that, which is, of course, the real Naya, the ruler. And we know that the first lie is actually tied with that too. So the Fiend Pyre's first lie was to say that she's Little Red the Wolf Girl. She then lied to Grimm and had the whole story about you know, trying to help him out, and then she fights the real Little Red and blah 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 blah. And so now to think that there's a card called Lunia the Liar Girl and some Cthulhus are reincarnated as humans, it's very possible that this is actually Little Red herself. So I think that's a cool little touch too, because essentially it's almost like no matter what you do, you can't get rid of her, whether she's like evil or good. And then at the Light Palace, of course, which is where Grimm lives, Pandora was able to restore them to the way they were. So we have the new kind of Lumia and Grimm after everything has resolved. They're kind of celebrating because the whole threat is over. It's nice to be back, and you know, because Lumia was even sealed after fighting Abdul. She kind of had to like use all of her power and vanquish, and Pandora kind of kept her. The same with Grimm whenever he was using the grimoire that Little Red gave him. So she kind of held on to him this whole time, and now everyone's reborn and they're all kind of like celebrating. And I guess it's one of those things like where in like an anime or something, you would see kind of like a whole celebration, and then it's kind of like panning away from that. And somewhere in the world there's a small little kind of like a bamboo forest, and there's two mages that are kind of just exploring this bamboo forest, and it's of course Feetsing and Zero. And they hear a baby crying, and so they kind of go check up to see who this baby is, and it is, of course, Kaguya. So Kaguya is kind of reborn, so they think that she would have, you know, used all of her power to go away. But it's kind of nice to know that this technique is actually kind of like a reversal of everything. So she went from being immortal to being like a baby, and of course they weren't going to like draw a baby, so I think she's just a little older here. But she's a full-fledged just baby in the actual story. And she's found by Feetsing and Zero, who kind of say that they're just going to take care of her together. And so yeah, it's really interesting to see how the Cthulhus, some of them turn into humans, all these little kind of things were born. We might actually get to see more of Kaguya in the future. It's totally possible because Alice has said that she might need Kaguya's help in the future. So we might get another crossover in maybe one of the next boxes, or we've seen the next set for the Alice cluster, and it seems to be kind of like a dark Alice, and we've seen pictures here and there of kind of like an evil Alice maybe. So she might be like corrupt or something, and it might be up to Kaguya to then try to maybe go to her dimension and fix things, or kind of maybe send some kind of signal, or we don't really know what's going to happen yet. But yeah, so this has been the story of Millenia of Ages. I hope you guys liked it. It wasn't as action filled as some of the other ones, but I really hope you do like the quirky battle scenes and everything. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. And if you do have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I kind of have a surprise for you guys tomorrow, by the way. If you guys haven't purchased any of your SKL cards or any of the boxes, hold off on ordering it, because I'm trying to get this deal for you guys that's going to get you something really cool. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I can't today, and I'll catch you guys next time.